Thank you very much. So a debt deal has been reached. The president signed the bill into law yesterday, but while lawmakers were debating debt, a lot of other issues had to take a back seat. What are they? Well, joining us now with a closer look, Stephen Dennis from Roll Call. Stephen, always good to see you. Let's talk about that a little bit. What are some of the things that did not get done while Congress was fixated on trying to solve the debt deal?
Well, the big one right now is this FAA bill. You know, the agency's been basically shut down for the last week or so, and both chambers have basically said we're leaving town for the next 5 weeks, and there's 75,000 people out of work, people on construction projects, 4,000 FAA employees. I mean, it's not affecting air traffic controllers, but you have airport inspectors who aren't getting paid and flying around the country on their own nickel, waiting for Congress to get its work done. It's really kind of outrageous. And, you know, there's still efforts to try and have some kind of compromise that could maybe be voted unanimously, what they call unanimous consent in both chambers, to try and get some resolution to this impasse that at least kicks it until September when they come back. There's really no guarantee that they get that done. They've been trying to do something like that the last few days, and you know, you have things, you know, it's like, yes, they have this huge deal on the debt, but, you know, they can't even, it's sort of like they can't walk and chew gum at the same time. You know, this FAA thing has been out there for 7 years. They've had short-term extensions for 7 years. If that doesn't show you what Congress hasn't been able to do its work, you know, that's sort of a example number one. There are a lot of other things, too. I mean, there's education reform that's been languishing for years, No Child Left Behind, trying to amend that. Both parties think it needs to be significantly changed. There's pretty good agreement on sort of an outlines of that bill. We're going to go another school year without having that done. You know, there's energy. Energy is something that both parties say, hey, we need to really do something about our energy situation. They don't necessarily agree on all the details, but they could agree on some things, things like natural gas. That hasn't even gotten through committee. So there's a lot of other things, appropriations bills, you know. The Senate's only done one this year. The one good thing, if you're sort of a federal government employee, for example, and you're worried about government shutdowns, you know, as of today, you probably would have, you know, been not getting your paychecks. Yet now, with this deal, it's sort of like a 2-year budget, and that sort of clears the way for maybe having some peace and not having these shutdown showdowns every few months. There's a pretty good chance that because they've agreed on spending levels, they'll be able to reach agreement on some of these other bills.
I want to try to touch on a couple of things real quick here. And going back to the FAA, one of the things, it's not just the workers who are furloughed, but the government's not collecting a lot of this tax money, which seems to be adding up to it could be hundreds of millions of dollars. You would think with all the fighting that's just been done over money, that's one thing they would want to get done to stop that.
Yeah, it's pretty outrageous. When you look at it, the tax revenue that people collect on, the government collects on the tickets are $30 million a day. It's going to be $1.2 billion this month. And the dispute that they're arguing over right now are these rural airports. The entire program is $200 million. They're talking about cutting $16 million one day of these ticket revenue, more than makes up for it. But these rural airports, some of them are really outrageous, some of the subsidies they get. You know, the one in Nevada, the home state of Harry Reid, the majority leader, there's one airport there that only has 500 passengers a year. And you and I and every other taxpayer are contributing $3,700 per passenger in subsidies. And Harry Reid yesterday said, look, I'm willing to give that up. That's outrageous. I'm willing to give it up. But they couldn't get agreement from all the other senators and both parties over this. And there's also the bigger fight is over union rights. How easy is it going to be to unionize airline workers, railroad workers? The Obama administration's moving some regulations to try and make it easier for unions, stuff they can't get through Congress. Congress, especially the House of Representatives, is trying to roll that back. And that's sort of the broader fight you're seeing in this, you know, new divided government town, which sometimes gets things done, and a lot of times we're going to have, you know, brinksmanship like this.
Still a lot for Congress to work on, even if they're, you know, quote-unquote off now for a little bit. So a lot of work to get done. We'll see what they pick up as soon as they come back. Stephen Dennis, appreciate it from Roll Call.
Great to be here.
Always good to have you. Allison, back to you.